It can really be frustrating when you've spent the time tuning up your ukulele strings, your guitar strings, and they still sound out of tune. What makes them slip out of tune? How can we avoid it? That's what this video is going to be all about. I'm going to offer a couple of tips and tricks for checking your intonation in different ways. We'll also look at how you can determine if your ukulele has an issue with the neck intonation. So hope you'll stick around for this video. This is a question I get very often here on the channel. Okay, so let's say you tune the open strings to your electronic tuner. It's all in tune, and then you play for a while and something just sounds bad. Something is slipped out of tune. Couple of things that might be happening. If your strings are new, you may need to stretch them out. I do this often because strings, even though they've settled, they still sometimes get some slack in them due to humidity and temperature fluctuations. So the way to stretch out a string is just put your finger underneath the string and just tug on it. Right up here at the nut, right here in the middle, and right here towards the bridge. Don't worry, you won't break the string. Just tug on it a little while and you'll get the slack that naturally occurs in the tuning peg here. Taking out that slack is really important for the strings to settle and to keep in tune. Second thing you're going to want to do is, although you've tuned the open strings G, C, E, A to a tuner, have you checked the strings against other notes on the fretboard? This is really important because as we play up the neck, we want the notes to remain in tune as we go up the neck. Stick around for the whole video because there's an important test that your ukulele should go through to make sure there isn't any intonation issues with it. A couple of great ways to check your open strings against some fretted notes is to check the open C string against the octave C, and that would be right here, the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now, an octave is an important interval, an important distance between notes, and we should not only be checking our instrument often, but training our ears. So you think of the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This is an important interval to begin to put into your ear. Listen carefully and see if it's in tune. All right, if it's not in tune, there may be an intonation issue with your neck, or perhaps this string has slipped. Your A string may have slipped. You can also check your intonation on the C right here, okay? 8th fret of the 2nd string is also a C. You'll notice, if you listen carefully, it has a more round tone. It's a little more rich, a little more bassy, because this string is thicker. And see if your ukulele is in tune. Another common thing to check would be your open G string. In this case, it's a low G against the G right here at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Or the G right here at 7th fret of the 3rd string. Right? You do a lot of things when you do this. You're training your ear to hear the octave. You're also beginning to identify other places where the notes occur on the neck, where they show up. All right, I got one more tip to share with you in this video, and I hope you're finding it helpful. If you are, would you please give this video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. I have a lot of tutorials and fun things for your ukulele playing at this channel. Thanks so much for hanging with me. Lastly, we want to check our 12th fret intonation. This is an important thing to do on ukuleles, on guitars. This checks whether your neck is in tune all the way up the neck. It's kind of like taking your instrument's temperature. Ideally, as you play up the neck, up to the high 12th fret, you reach the octave, and it should remain in tune. What can sometimes happen is there may be a little warp in the neck. There could be an adjustment that needs to happen with the length of the string if it's not in tune. Here's how you check your intonation. You can, of course, use your ear and see if it sounds like 1 octave above. But a more accurate way is to play the 12th fret harmonic, and I'll show you how in a moment, and then check that against the fretted 12th fret note. It should sound exactly the same if it's in tune. it will sound exactly the same. Shout out to Brian Griffin. Thank you very much for making a wonderful in-tune ukulele for me. Now, if your ukulele neck is not in tune all the way up the neck, no worries. I mean, there's all kinds of adjustments you can make. Some ukuleles have a truss rod, which brings the neck back or forward. You can have the nut and the bridge altered a little bit. If the string, the fretted note, is sharp, that means that the string is too short. It's just a little bit short, and the luthier, a skilled repair person, will be able to lengthen the string by adjusting the placement of your bridge. You have all these frets, all these tones to create music with. It's a good idea to see that your ukulele is in tune. Next time you go check one out at a guitar store or music shop, do this. Play the 12th fret harmonic and check the intonation. See if it's right in tune. You can always use an electronic tuner as well and make sure that the fretted note is exactly in tune. As you do this, you're also sharpening your ear, really being present with the sound. It's a meditation in and of itself, very calming, and you begin to listen in new ways. The way you make a 12th fret harmonic is rest your fretting finger right over the 12th fret, so it's not just to the side where you would be fretting the note, but it's right over the fret. You pluck it while the finger is just resting on the string. Pluck and then remove. Okay, you want to first pluck and then remove, and you're going to want to pick it with with some authority. That's how you make harmonics. Pick, release. I have several videos on my channel about harmonics. I will link to them right here. Why don't you follow me into the next video where we can learn more about making music with harmonics. I hope you enjoyed this video and that this answers the very important question of how can I keep my ukulele from slipping out of tune, man? It's annoying, I know. Let's get into the music. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me.